Yeah, I'm not going to dodge it. It's a usually as the year starts, most teams are. I want to be careful how I say it. You basically have an established number one guy, and we don't. It's a situation where Corpy has played some really good games for us, has some experience in the league, but not a whole bunch, and a young guy behind him right now. But we feel very confident how they have gone through camp, and especially Corpy. I think we have a comfort level with him, as we have when we did play him a number of games in a row and let him assume that role for a little bit. He answered, so we have a really good comfort level. It's unique because there's no one really established that has been a number one in the league, but that's part of it, and it's part of the journey for us.
Did it take any convincing in the summer when Jarmo had this plan and said, I'm not going to go out and get, whoever's out there established, and talk to you about
it? This was talked about, and we knew what has happened. We knew it was going to happen that way. And so we have acted accordingly. I feel very comfortable how our team knows how they have to play, especially early on. Early on, I just want our goalies to feel comfortable, and we can't get into track meets. And we have focus on that all through camp as far as our play away from the puck. Hopefully, we'll play the right way in front of our guys.
How many of those questions on that position and team-wide are answered in camp during this time, and how many questions will
they're going to be
really
answered
unanswered
now.
For a long time?
Yeah, they're going to be. When you start playing the real stuff, that's when you find out not only about your goaltending, but everybody. As far as we have, Gus is here, Lilia's here, Bemstrom's here, Tex is starting the year with it. There's a lot of people. I'm sure I missed one or two maybe, but you really don't find out about the people until everything starts going for the real stuff. And quite honestly, as we talked about, I think yesterday, how much more we're going to ask of the guys that are established here as far as our core players. They have to improve this year. They have to. And we'll see how that goes as we go along the way here.
John, I sense from some of your veteran players that they want to play really, really hard for Korpisalo.
Yes.
Like they respect the way that he's handled himself even before this year. You get that as well?
Yeah, he's an easy guy to pull for. He's certainly he's an easy guy to play for because I just think the way he handled himself when it's maybe a bad goal or just a struggle here and there doesn't bother him. He just goes about it, and he's just a likable guy. There's a little bit of a, they want to see him do well. We got a chip on our shoulder. We do, as far as seeing some guys saying, "No, the hell with you guys. We don't want to be here." That's an insult to some of the guys, and so it's there. It's there, and I hope it builds to a level that it's always with us. I think that's going to be very important for us.
You're going to get a big test right out of the gate, back to back, just in terms of those goalies, but also how you have to play for those goalies.
Yes.
Schedule makers did you no favors in that respect, or did they? Do you like having that right out of the?
I think all teams. It's the league. There's so much parity. It doesn't matter who you play. We're not looking anything further until our 10:15 meeting tomorrow, and then we get ready for our game. It really doesn't matter what team you play in this league. There are really good players in all these teams, and it's a different circumstance, and it's always going to be a challenge each and every night.
You mentioned yesterday you wanted this team to kind of keep an arrogance or a swagger about it. Is that something that you can help build as a coach, or does it have to come from within with those guys?
Well, I think I've got to be really careful and not to hurt that. When we're going through, maybe going through some tough lessons or a bump in the road, I think you got to be really careful as a coach, and I'm very cognizant of that this year. I mean, this is my 5th year with a lot of these guys. I have coached them differently each and every year, notwithstanding this year too. I need to be really careful as far as to teach the proper way and allow them still to be themselves and to play with confidence. So you're always aware of that. I'm especially aware of that this year.
Has that improved, John? Coming out of the room, the things that you want to see coming out of the room, has that improved in your 5 years?
From me?
In terms of players taking control of things you want them taking control
Oh, I
of?
think we've improved. If you're asking me, are the players taking control of the room? I think it's gotten better and better each year. Yeah, I think I always ask for more in that part of it, because what it does, it gets me out of there. I can make mistakes. I make mistakes. I will make mistakes this year by being in there at the wrong time with the wrong type of emotion. If the fewer times I need to be in there in those certain situations and I know it's being handled by the room, there's no better inner pressure or inner pushing of accountability than from a teammate.
John, you have a couple of lineup decisions that you have to make. What factors are you going to consider on who gets the sixth defenseman to start and who starts on that fourth line?
Who played better? Pretty simple. Yeah, there's not too much scientific stuff going on. It's the eyeball test as far as who we think deserves to be in that lineup in our first game, and we'll make that decision tomorrow morning.
Do things like familiarity kind of come into it? I know,
Nope.
Bemstrom and Lillian,
Nope.
teammates last year.
Nope.
Last year after the deadline, it took you guys a while to kind of learn to play with expectations, increased expectations. Can the opposite kind of happen now? Can there be an opposite effect of that now if those guys leave, whatever, and there's maybe not as high of expectations outside the room for you guys?
We don't care what's good. The expectations outside the room does not matter to us. We have a tremendous amount of pride in that room as far as the guys that want to be here and keep improving this organization. We're not concerned about all the garbage and the expectation talk out above us. I know it's there. I mean, you can't help but hear it. We're not. We don't care. We hold ourselves to a standard in there. We've talked about our conditioning standard. We've held ourselves and will continue to hold ourselves to a standard that no one needs to hear about other than ourselves in that room, and keep on trying to grow that way.